Hey everybody, it's Molly here. I know I look a hot mess right now, but I just got out of the shower and I don't have any makeup on. I just blow dried my hair, so I look like a frizzy dog of sorts. But I was really getting in my feels when I was in the shower, and this idea kind of popped into my head, so I figured I would film it before it left my brain. It was a weird mix of songs. It was Needed Me by Rihanna, and then Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran, and then Partition by Beyonce. So it was just like a range of emotions that inspired this video. But I didn't get my mic or anything for this because I kind of wanted it to be soft-spoken, a little more real, a little more raw. Jimmy's right here. He's chewing on an antler, so bear with me. It's also super hot in here. Let me get some water real quick. So I have been dealing a lot with my inner thoughts and emotions as of late, and I've been really focused on myself recently. And I know I like go through these phases where I'm depressed and I'm happy and I'm in love and I love myself, and then I'm sad again, and then I'm like, fuck this, fuck everybody, I'm a bad bitch, and then I'm like crying on the couch. I experience a lot of emotions, and I wish y'all could just be in my fucking brain for a day, because it's a horrific place to be, but it's also really fun. Like, you never know what the next mood is gonna be. So I've been dealing a lot recently with good feelings mostly, so that's exciting. Feelings of self-love and acceptance, and I just feel good with who I am as a person, and I feel good about the events in my life for once. And I just feel like the need to talk about it and to document it, because I've documented so many of my low points and also so many of my high points, and I want to be able to look back on this and be like, look at her, she's a bad bitch. No, but I have just been feeling grateful lately for the good and the bad in my life, and I've just grown to really love myself as a person, and I've grown to be so independent, which I never thought was an option for me, and I'll kind of go into that in a little bit. But obviously this is stuff that I should be talking to a therapist about, but we can't afford therapy, and I feel like I'm not talking to anyone, but like I know that I'm talking to people, so it's like I'm not really talking to anyone. Because I really don't have a lot of people in my real life that I can turn to kind of just vent and get things off of my chest, and that's my own fault, that's my own thing, but that's like why I have you guys. And I know a lot of you can relate to a lot of the stuff that I go through, because I get a ton of messages saying like, Molly, like, you know, I'm going through the same shit, we're the same person, blah blah blah, I'm glad you said this, and it's really reassuring to me. So just know that we're in this together, which is why I post these videos. Like, in my head, nobody sees them, so even though they get like 3,000-4,000 views, nobody sees them in my head, so we're just gonna leave it that way for now. But yeah, I've been dealing a lot with my independence and like my freedom that I have as like the person that I've grown into be, and it's just like made me reflect on a lot of past experiences, and I've come to the realization that I've placed a lot of my self-worth in other people, which I think a lot of people can relate to. I looked for validation in all the wrong ways when I was younger and even recently, and it's just hard to admit that sometimes, because you want to say that you do things for yourself, but really you do things for other people. Gatsby would throw these elaborate parties just to get Daisy to come, and it's kind of like the same thing. And I know that's like a stupid analogy, but I feel like sometimes I post things on social media for one person to see, and obviously I post things for myself, and like I post content like when I feel good about myself and I'm feeling cute, whatever, post a selfie, but then it's like always checking to see, and that person changes from year to year, from day to day, you know, who you're checking up on, who you're stalking on social media and everything like that. It's just funny to me, because now that I've like gotten rid of that aspect of my life, like I'm so overdoing that kind of shit, it's like freeing, because social media is very, as you know, horrible and terrible, and makes you feel some type of way. And I've been really considering just like getting rid of it. Like I don't even really go on Instagram anymore, or like Snapchat or anything. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is me admitting to myself, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, that I have placed my self-worth and my value as a person on how other people see me. And it's mostly how men see me. I don't know where it stems from. I really don't have daddy issues. I had a pretty stable childhood. And I don't know what's wrong with me. So I'm thinking maybe if I talk about it, people will relate. But ever since I can remember, I've been doing stuff to impress men and to make men like me. Ooh. And now I'm just kind of realizing that that's like a horrible way to live and a horrible way to view yourself. I remember I was 15 years old, and that was when a guy first took interest in me ever. Like I had never even like dated or anything, and I was almost 16. I was gonna be a junior in college, in high school. And there was this boy. This is the first boy that I ever, and he made me feel absolutely horrendous about myself, and he would make fun of me for like where I lived and like the music that I listened to and like my style and like everything about me. And I had severe anxiety because of it, and I talked about this in a video. I would become physically ill to the point where for a whole summer I didn't eat, because I was so anxious about like what he thought of me and like what I could do to make him like me more. And I even listened to Nickelback for him, and I pretended to like it. So we're just not going to talk about that. But he made me feel horrible about myself. Obviously in the moment I didn't recognize that, but looking back on it, I would do anything to grab my 16-year-old self and be like, listen girl, you don't have to do this to make him like you. And he didn't even like you. Like I thought we were, dating together, but like he would be with other girls and like not answer my texts. I remember I would spend the whole day just like waiting for my phone to buzz. Excuse me? Like what? And as the years went on, it was very on and off and very toxic, and him, calling me out for all the shit that it just made me who I was as a person, and it made me feel like I had to hide my personality and my true self, which isn't healthy, obviously. And as I dated, I just kept hiding more and more of myself. And then when I went to college and freshman year, I didn't talk to any boys, I didn't hook up with any guys, I didn't do anything, and I felt like I was the outcast, like I was the odd one out, because I wasn't like in a relationship and I wasn't even doing anything with guys. So I felt like my self-worth was even lower now, which freshman year of college, you can go back to those videos and see what a terrible place I was in. And I put that a lot on myself at like not being outgoing, but also me not having a boy in my life. And then when I first started seeing my boyfriend, he basically refused to date me. He would just want to, like hook up, hang out, whatever. And we did that for like 6 months. And then I basically forced him into a relationship because I thought that, that was the normal thing to do. I wanted a boyfriend. I had never been in a relationship, and that's all that I wanted. And I couldn't be my best self if I wasn't in a relationship for some reason. And I based a lot of my choices on him throughout college, and like what I would do and where I would go and what I would wear and who I would hang out with. And like I never let my true personality show. And even though we were together for a long time and he knew me, he didn't know me for like the cool person that I am. And then I said I love you, and he never said it back. I mean, he eventually said it back. We dated for like 2 years, but like we're together for like 3, whatever. He eventually said it back, but it never felt genuine. But I felt like I had to get that from him in order to feel validated, and I felt like I had to do certain things to feel like I fit in with him and his friends. And I had, like, not just with him and with people, like I felt like with all the men that I've been with, whatever, I felt like I had to like send pictures of myself and, you know, act a certain way and be a little slutty and do all this. But there's nothing wrong with that, but I thought that that's what I had to do. So then when I was a junior in college and I was roofied and sexually assaulted, I also felt like that was my fault, and that because of my actions that night and because of what I drank and what I wore and how I acted and things that I said, that I deserved that to happen to me, and that I went along with it after the fact and pretended that everything was fine because I didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings. And then this person manipulated me so horribly, physically, emotionally, mentally, into staying with them, or with threats of killing themselves and threats of pictures getting out and threats of this and threats of that. And I felt like I had to stay with this person. And then I felt like I had to leave, and I did. And then I got back together with my boyfriend. I know this probably doesn't make sense, but I got back together with him because I felt like I needed to be in a relationship in order to be happy. And this is when my spiral started of needing somebody else. And then when, you know, he moved away after he graduated and I was by myself, I didn't do anything because I wanted to be with him only, and only being with him would make me happy, right? And then when we finally broke up and I started doing things for myself, I lost a bunch of weight. I worked on my mental health. I worked really hard at my job, and I was doing stuff for myself. But in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, when's the next one? You know what I mean? Like, when's the next person? When's the next target? And then I met a person who made me feel like I could be my true self, which is like, it's so rare for me, and it's so hard to talk about that because it's like so genuine, and it's like a genuine connection, right? And then he ended up and then I based a lot of my life around him and like what he would want to do and what he wanted from me, and I do that a lot, and I don't make plans with other people because I might be able to hang out with him, and you know, I always have my phone on me just in case somebody was going to text me. And like, this was all throughout different relationships and stuff, and like I lose a lot of myself when I'm in with somebody, and I've only had one serious boyfriend, so I lose a lot of myself within boys, and I let them take a piece of me, and they don't deserve to have a piece of me, but I let a little piece go every single time. A little part of me goes with them when they leave me, or I leave them, you know. It's not that sad, I've left a few too. And then when this boy shattered my heart, broke it in half, stomped on it, threw it out in the garbage, flushed it down the toilet, ate it, shit it back out, and then threw it out into the dumpster again, I spiraled into a terrible depression. And obviously you guys all witnessed that. It's fine, we're over it, it's okay, because I based my self-worth on how I felt with him, and I said I will never be as happy as I was when I was with him. Fast forward, I'm doing great. I'm living my life. I got a new job. My apartment's great. I've got Jimmy. Everything is going good. But still, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, and I've said this in videos, I'm like, listen, this guy was my soulmate. He's going to do this for me. He's going to do this for me. And everything's going to be fine. He's going to come back. I believe right person, wrong time, right? I said that a bunch. Because in the back of my head, I was thinking, I will not be truly happy again until I am in a relationship with this person, until this person is back in my life. Jimmy is choking. I just want to point that out. So then when when this person came back into my life unexpectedly, I was like, that's it. There's my happiness right there. But here's the catch. It wasn't happiness. It was a false sense of reality, and it was me forcing a puzzle piece into the wrong spot. Like, you just want it to work so bad, and it looks like it's gonna work, and it's just about to fit, and then it doesn't fit. And then you're like, okay, do we force the puzzle piece in, or do we look for a new piece? Or do we just throw the fucking puzzle away and leave and never do a fucking puzzle again, because who likes puzzles? No. Again, I was focusing myself on this one person, and even though they didn't want the same things that I wanted, I was forcing it to happen, because in my brain, I cannot be happy without somebody else. Even though I'm an introvert, even though I'm very independent, but once that person left my life again, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, a bitch, you'll never get that chance. So once that person left my life, I wasn't upset. I wasn't sad. I felt like this weight was being lifted off my shoulders, and I felt like this freedom that I haven't felt in a very long time, and I don't know if I've ever felt it before, but it feels like I don't really know how to explain it. It feels like I'm doing stuff for myself now. I don't know what it is, like what about this has changed me so much. I think it's a culmination of everything that I've gone through, and I know that I've given you guys a lot of personal information, and Jimmy's yanking me. I know I've given you guys a lot of personal information, but this is how I process things. Like, this is how I need to talk things out, and I don't know if I'll ever post this. I hope to God I don't, but I figured that I will never be happy again, and then to feel this like sense of happiness and relief and this sense of gratitude towards like everybody that I've ever come in contact with, because they have kind of shaped me into the person that I am today, is something that like I will never take for granted. And I appreciate all the good and like all the bad that's happened in my life, because it's kind of led me to this point of independence and like freedom, and just I feel amazing. And this isn't me saying this like for the views, like no, like before I would say that and like I wouldn't really mean it. I absolutely mean it from the bottom of my heart. And like honestly, this sounds dramatic and drastic, but if I was never in a relationship again, that would be fine. If it was just me and Jimmy for the rest of my fucking life, and whoever replaces Jimmy when he goes to the farm, that would be fine with me. Just the peace, the inner peace that I feel just like being by myself and like knowing that like this is right feels good. And obviously like if the right person came along, but I would never let anybody take this inner peace from me. I'm not letting anybody take my independence. I'm not letting anyone take the self-confidence and the self-love that I have built up in me away again. I'm not letting another man, anybody take a piece of me ever again, another job, another school. No, I've left too many of my pieces scattered around that you could probably build a whole new Molly. That sounds stupid, but literally, I would never, ever, ever let somebody hurt me the way that I've been hurt by so many people in the past. And of course, some of them had good intentions, and of course, I had great times with some of them. Like, I'm not saying all men are trash. What I'm saying is I will never let a man take a piece of me again, a piece of my heart, a piece of the heart that I've built up and shattered myself so many times. Like, I know some of the situations I put myself in are bad, and I know that they're going to hurt me. And I know that, you know, talking to this person, getting back with this person, trying again with this person is only going to hurt me more. And I know I'm going to continue to make mistakes, and I know I'm going to continue to I mean, obviously I'm not saying I never want to be in a relationship again. I was just saying that like I'm good with myself, like especially right now. Like the thought of even doing any of that is just so sickening to me. But I don't know, I just never want to give myself like away like that unless I truly know it's for the best. But it's like, do you ever know that? I don't know. I'm sorry that this was weird, but it really helped me kind of talk through things, and it helped me to understand kind of where I'm at. And I'm sure like a lot of you guys can relate. And like I said, should I be talking to a therapist about this? Probably. Will I? No, because I got you guys and I've got Jimbo here. So before he freaks out, I'm going to go. I hope I never post this video, but if I do, I hope some of you can at least relate and I don't look psychotic, but this is just for me to look back on, and just if I'm ever caught dead with a man again, I can look back on this video and be like, okay, Molly, remember your roots. Oh my God, Jimmy's like yanking me. Also, I saw this tweet and it was like, I will never love a man in public again. It was like, next man I love is going to be in private. It's like too embarrassing to love a man in public. And I was like, oh yes, I literally feel that. And again, this isn't bashing men, and this isn't me coming out. This is me saying that I will never let a man determine my worth. And I wish I could have told myself this 8 years ago when I was 15, but I'm here to tell you guys now, if some of you are about to make a bad decision, try not to, but also don't limit yourself, you know? Do things that you want to do, but do things that are going to make you happy and that are going to contribute to your growth as a person. I don't know. Okay, I should go because I'm just saying random shit now. So thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry that this was weird, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.